Welcome to the Spotlight by CG Ruthless, man. Let's welcome my special guest, another Davenport University, but this time it's a running back, Myren Harris, man. How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime, man. Definitely excited about this, but for those people who are not familiar with you, tell me about yourself, man.
Well, I play running back at Davenport, small school prospect, had a good career, started out at Wayne State, then it ended my last 2 years at Davenport.
Okay, so you started off at Wayne State in the beginning. Okay.
Yeah.
So what got you into football in the early part, man?
Just my dad came home one day. He met this guy named Clint that was the GM over this little league team called the Hazel Park Raiders here in Michigan. And my dad came home, one day was like, hey, y'all want to play football? And we was like, sure. So me, my twin brother, and my little brother, who both are at Davenport, we just hit the ground running. Ever since, we were 5 years old, we hit the ground running.
So what was the position you played before running back?
I played everything, brother. I'm talking about from tight end to quarterback to receiver to fullback. I played everything.
Okay. So running back eventually became your natural, huh?
Yeah, so from sixth grade all the way up until the start of my junior year, I started out as a quarterback. Like I played quarterback all the way up until like a week or two, before the first game. And then, my first game was my junior year on varsity at running back, led the charge, had like 100 something on the ground. And then, the rest is history.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure. Even playing wide receiver, you got some good receiving skills as a running back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Guys, so, my parents did a great job at preaching not being, one-dimensional and, being great at everything. So I say so.
Yeah, you have to if you want to get on the field more, for sure.
Right.
So what is like your backup plan? Like we always got to have something ahead of schedule. You never know, but hey, football is your main focus, of course.
Right. So I got my degree in sports psychology. God forbid I ever have to use my degree. But if I do, then I'll go into some type of like counseling, like with the youth or, doing something along those lines. So
yeah. Okay, that's a good way to put it. Like you definitely are getting ahead of the game. So what's your favorite thing about playing football for Davenport and Wayne State University?
Well, I had, two kinds of different experiences at both the schools. Playing at Wayne State, was more being in the city, being in the heart of Detroit. Anybody from Michigan knows if you can get the respect in the city as an athlete, then, that's how in our terms, you're one of the ones. So being at Wayne State, was a blessing. I learned a lot being at Wayne State, and then playing at Davenport, was also, like a big shift, being a part of a culture and a program where, like they demand excellence, and being under Sparky and his staff, they gonna tell you about yourself, but then, build you up and make you the best you can be. So, playing at both schools, was a blessing.
Sure is, but have you met with any NFL teams or not yet?
I've seen scouts, come through the school, especially at Davenport. I've seen the scouts come through the school and talk to a couple, and then, a couple of teams, reached out and I had to do some questionnaires. And then on my pro day, I talked to almost every team that was there.
So there was a lot of teams that were there?
Yeah, it was a nice amount. I want to say at least like 15 at minimum, probably a little more.
So was the 49ers one of them or no?
Well, they did reach out during the season. I don't think they were at the pro day, but they reached out to my coach, during the season, concerning me. So.
Okay, so they might have a little interest in you. So I'm assuming they don't want to put it out there. So you never know.
Right.
There is an opening because Jordan Mason's just been traded, and they might be looking for another running back.
Yeah, there's like with the game of football, especially with the draft, anything can happen. Usually guys go to the teams that they rarely talk to or didn't even know that they were, on their board. So, just kind of just keeping an open mind about that and just, letting the chips fall where they may.
Oh yeah, I'm a good spy, but I'm not gonna really say much. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like you say, you
Yeah,
never know. So
yeah.
it's low key. So for you, man, it's got to be pretty interesting to have a good like you've been. I mean, so what kind of a scheme that you guys played at Davenport for like running like the running style?
We did pretty much, everything. We ran zone gap scheme, all that good stuff. But we were predominantly spread and we threw the ball quite a bit. But yeah, at Davenport we did pretty much everything. Ran every concept. Obviously, some worked better than others. We gap scheme. Was a scheme that helped us and was consistent for us. And so we stuck with that. But we did do a couple of zones. Here and there. Yeah.
Okay, at least you kind of like know what it takes to be at the next level. So I can see why maybe San Francisco might low key might be interested in you because you do have some good receiving skills. You can run the zone or the gap or whatever was necessary. I mean, you seem like you're very capable of doing those.
Yeah, being at Wayne State, we did predominantly, under center, we ran 12 and 13 personnel a lot of times of the game and 22 and 23. So coming from that and then going to spread with a mixture, of a little under center, at Davenport, but predominantly spread. I got experience playing in any offense, so I can adjust and adapt to almost anything.
For sure. So why should who do you model yourself after?
I wouldn't say I really model my game after a specific player. I usually find like a couple good players that I like, based off like their styles and how they do, certain things. And then I'll just take it in and implement it in my game and, make it my own. So I wouldn't say like, I'm, base my game off of somebody specific. It's usually a combination of players, honestly. So,
Okay, so you just kind of look at each player and you try to find how you can improve your style. Okay.
yeah, like if I see somebody that does something better than me or does something at a high level that I know that I can do, then I just try to, implement that in my game.
Okay, so what can you learn from watching Saquon Barkley?
His center of gravity is low. He knows he's a decisive runner. Even when he's making his cuts. Even from his explosion to his the timing of his stiff arms and everything. Just Saquon Barkley, he's a patient but explosive runner with a nice center of gravity, strong, solid base. Hard to tackle and can catch the ball out of backfield. From time to time, maybe not as well as CMC, but he can do it. At a high level.
Yeah, he can do that at a high level. Like seeing even you're even picking your brains from that guy, so that tells you how much you're a quick learner on those.
Oh yeah.
So why do you choose number 4?
Well, number 4 was the first number that I got when I started out playing in pads, so tackle football. So that's what, 3rd grade, yeah. So right around 3rd grade, that's when that was my first football number. And then once I transferred to Davenport, I just thought, why not take it back, to my roots and go out, in what I started with. So as I close this chapter of, my life and career, which is college football, I just thought like, why not just make it special and honor that number, when I first started out playing.
Oh, for sure. I guess stick with the number you had before and just go along with it. So why should NFL teams draft you, man?
I bring a lot to the table, not just, with my game and physically, but also, like my mentality, from my leadership in the locker room, being in position room. So my energy on the field and, being the coach, like that's on the field as well. Like a player that's a leader and can enforce, like whatever needs to be done. I don't mind being disliked, but I also know how to reach, the player. So, just being able and being blessed to do, everything as far as off the field stuff. That's why I feel like teams should like me. But besides that, I feel like I bring a lot of upside, to a team, being able to be a bruiser back and then flexing out in the slot and then running routes and catching the ball and being just as effective as a receiver and really maximizing my skills within that scheme and within that zone and within that, play call, like of the offense. So just finding my niche, and that I can adapt, to anything.
Yeah. Definitely, man. You seem like you would probably fit in with these type of offense. So I think whoever puts you in the proper system, I think you're going to have some big numbers.
Oh, yeah. I'm a firm believer of it. If you're a real athlete, you'll figure out in any system. So,
Yeah, I think for a guy like around 220, I think you're pretty fast for that size.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so let's say you go to the Detroit Lions. What would you learn from a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery?
Learning. Well, both of them are decisive runners. Once again, they get downhill fast and they attack and they have patience and they trust their O line. So kind of just learning that, from them and kind of just seeing how they approach the game and approach the game as pros. Because it's a different from just being an athlete, but being a pro and how they approach the game and their mindset going in game in and game out, even to how they're studying film. Would be something that I would love to pick their brain on.
Yeah, especially if you come in as a rookie, that would be the best ways to learn from those vets.
Right.
Let's see. Do you have a nickname in football?
A nickname? Well, at Davenport, they gave me a couple different nicknames. Like my first game in a Davenport uniform, they gave me Mr. Lightning, and then it went from Mr. Lightning to Marvelous, Myren, and so and then of course family members and coaches and everybody creates a nickname for you. So, but those were the two like that were mainly broadcast. It was Mr. Lightning and Marvelous Myren.
Oh, okay. That means you got some fire in there, with that
nickname.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So do you have a touchdown celebration or
not? Yeah. So usually every time I score a touchdown, I try to do a TikTok dance. For the kids mainly, but also myself, just because you never know when's the last time you're going to score a touchdown, right? So every time I score, I usually try to do like the trending, TikTok dance at that time.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I guess the nickname for Lightning just means you're pretty quick, huh? So what's your fastest 40 time?
Well, my official 40 time at the Pro Day was a 4.59.
Not too bad. That's usually kind of like most average size for a running back, but it's that game speed that matters.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that game speed is, like it's different, right? And I believe that the game speed is faster too. So with that adrenaline and being in the game and that energy, I feel like a lot of guys are faster.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys faster than what their time is. Like when I saw the Miami receiver, it doesn't seem like he runs a 4.8. He runs a lot faster than what it looks like on tape.
Right.
Yeah. The stuff, everything they say, it can be misleading with a lot of that stuff. Just because if you run a 4.2 doesn't mean you're going to be the fastest on the football field. It just means you have that speed, but it has to be game speed, a little different.
All right. I mean, once you understand and realize that the 40 is just a drill that anybody can, and with the right coaching you can get better at, then, it almost makes you wonder, why they do it, right? So
yeah, sure does. So how do you prepare for your pregame ritual and how do you prepare for upcoming games?
Well, my pregame ritual, I like to keep it the same. If it's not broke, don't fix it type of guy. So I usually like to start my mornings off, with just giving God thanks and giving him the praise for just making it to the day and being able to go out there and embarrass somebody's son. And then I usually will prop my phone up and, with my sister and my, like in the rest of my family, but mainly, for my sister, I would send me doing like a little goofy dance, just to show how, like excited I am, for the game. And then once I get to the facilities, it's game on. So I usually get there. I do my stuff in the weight room, my maintenance stuff to make sure my body's nice and warmed up. And then once I hit that field, I usually, take a stroll and just, do my thing there. But preparing for upcoming games, I mean, I'm a film junkie. So watching film and just memorizing tendencies and seeing, what they're good at and what they're not good at, seeing how the front seven is moving and how they react to certain formations, to certain shifts, to certain, cuts, and how, that running back, that game is, like running the ball, just kind of just paying attention, to that to make sure that that's fresh in my mind. So when I'm out there, it's a second nature. That's how I prepare, for upcoming games.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Let's see. I guess looking at this question, I guess this is assuming this is your dad or somebody here. Yeah. Looking at your college career and success, you have talked about why humanity or something or humility is so important when trying to get to the next level. I guess he's asking why you feel like this is more important to the next level, even in football or life.
I think it's important just in life in general, but specifically speaking, when getting to the next level, I think being humble and having humility takes you a long way. It keeps you in a nice place, like keeps your heart. in a place of, gratitude, and then it allows you to be thankful for the situations, that you're in, and allowing you to whatever is allowing room and space for whatever happens, to happen, but being comfortable, with the outcome. So having humility goes a long way.
Oh yeah, for sure. It kind of gives you more as a human being and what you are. But so as an away team, how do you silence that crowd sound, as an opponent?
Well, I mean, I love it. I love being an underdog. I like being the villain, as my friends, would say it. But just shutting them up, with your game. Like there's no better feeling than being away, and then you have that explosive player or that touchdown, and then all the crowd excitement, dies. I live for that. Just watching the life being taken out of somebody on the field or in that stands, amps me up and keeps me going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Without
Kind of
silence.
it kind of makes you fire them up to silence them at that point.
Right.
Oh, so if you could run a touchdown against one top defense in the NFL, which top defense would you run for a touchdown against if you had to choose?
Well, past or present, I would like to. Well, two players. Well, that Ravens team with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and then that Eagles team with Brian Dawkins. I feel like that would be fulfilling for me and satisfying, given the fact that those defenses were high level defenses. Oh, and I say maybe the defense on the Steelers, when they had Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark, back there, and James Harrison on the D line. Like I would love to do something against those defenses. I feel like as an athlete, and as like if you're one of those ones, you live for those type of moments and those type of games to go against the best to see what you really are about. So I would love to do something against those defenses.
Oh yeah, especially those are top defense for whatever reason. Ravens, they always tend to have good defenses, and Steelers, they're always been known to be a great defensive culture.
Right.
Let's see. So describe your typical approach to learning the playbook. Like, how long does it take you to adjust and get in on all those playbooks? So, everything can be different from time to time.
Right. So being a quarterback, you kind of, understand that you're just playing football at the end of the day, and everything is the same. It's just different terminology. So once you learn how to make the two, live together and, coexist, learning the playbook is, easy. Like for me as a running back, inside zone is just different terminology, right? A smash concept is the same thing, right? It's just different names and terminology. So kind of just dumbing it down and keeping, my mind in that space. Once I take that approach, I can learn the playbook, and adapt to the playbook just like that. So just kind of just realizing that you're just playing football and it's all the same things, just different ways to do it. There's just a million more different ways to do it, right? Like going from little league to high school, you can run more plays, the same way and differently, right? It's just like in college, you get to college, you find that you can run these type of concepts just to get to the smash concept, like in certain instances. So just kind of realizing that it's all the same thing, just different terminology.
Yeah, sure is. So who is the toughest defensive player you face and the one who gives you the most trash talk?
Well, I would say Micah Cressinger. Micah Cressinger, the linebacker at Saginaw Valley, All-American, two-time All-American, top prospect too, coming out of the GLIAC. He gives me a run for my money, from time to time. He has my number right now because the last time we played, they won. And he's not too much of a smack talker. He'll talk if I talk back to him, but I would say him.
Are you quite a trash talker, or you let your play do the talking?
I'm more of a let your play do the talking, but I only start talking trash and talking, smack or talking back once my play is doing the talking, because then it just hurts worse. Then I'm really in your head because now you mad that I'm going crazy on you. But then when I start talking crazy, on top of that, it just amplifies everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. So has any other NFL players reached out to you and give you some advice for the next level?
Yeah. Players that I know specifically that are close to me, like being able to, talk to Tyler Conklin, Sean Murphy-Bunting, but more specifically, Anthony Pittman, who played at Wayne. I met him as a freshman. Once I started, going crazy, he kind of took me under his wing and was teaching me the ropes. Drake Bell, Trevor Nowaski, those type of guys, having access to those type of guys and, playing against them and playing with them, and then hearing their advice and how they, approach college and then approach the league and how they approach their training, just to become a pro, was a big thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you got a really good field vision and all that anticipation, but how'd you get that skill and gift?
I would say that a lot of it is God given, but anything God given still requires work to be put in. So from the workouts in the backyard, with my dad and and my brothers, and my twin brother, my little brother, just doing stuff like that, and just getting more craftier, with the workouts to simulate game stuff, and obviously being a film junkie, that stuff helps with the, field vision and anticipation. And then I would say, being a musician, as well, like being a drummer, everything is about timing. You got to know when to, play full and, when to use your dynamics and play, small and quiet in the room. So having that and learning that and understand like the timing of everything, helps me in football, for sure.
Oh, yeah. For sure. So you mentioned your faith, and I'm curious, can you provide an example of how your faith has directly impacted your performance or outlook on the game?
Yeah. So just more specifically, like this past year, right? Being a prospect, each game is an evaluation, right? Scouts are coming to each game and they're watching, each game, but learning that I'm in this position and in this moment for a reason, and God has not allowed me to be here if I wasn't meant to be here and if I wasn't meant to exceed the expectation. So just, giving God the glory for that, just the simple stuff, having the heart of gratitude and learning how to apply that to football, which is thanking God that I'm able to even come out here and leave the field, healthy, being able to put my stuff on and not have any, nicks or bruises or, career, ending injuries. Thanking God that my injuries that I do have are minor and not major, or something that can be major, and that I'm always able to, catch it. So just continuing to have that faith, in God, and just staying, prayed up and staying in my word, but keeping the heart of gratitude and keeping my mindset in a neutral place and just allowing God to be God over certain situations, helps with my performance and outlook on the game, because that right there, being in that vein, helped me realize that it's just a blessing just to even say I play college football, right? It's just a blessing to even go out there and just be, in the game and, just being in that moment. So,
Oh, yeah, for sure. So outside of football, who are you as a person?
I'm a funny, goofy guy. I love watching movies. I read books from time to time. I like being outside. I like spending time, like with my family. Like I'm a big family and friends guy. Like I love quality time, just being around everybody and just, having a good time, like whether it's laughing, we sitting there having deep conversations, watching movies, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's good to know. So I guess as far as sports or music or food, what's like your interest at those?
Well, as far as food, I love everything. I love to eat. If I wasn't playing football or on a diet and working out, I would 1,000% be a fat boy. 1,000%. I love to eat, but I like all genres of music. I like to say that I wouldn't be a real musician if I didn't like all genres of music. Like I could find songs from any genre and really enjoy it and understand it too. So, but outside of football, I'm just a fun guy. I love being around family and friends and spending time with the ones I love and people that matter most to me.
Okay, that's good to know. So what area of your game that you took the longest to develop, and what would you tell your younger self to do differently?
I would definitely say my pass blocking, just understanding, and that pass blocking is more of a heart thing than something that can really be taught to an extent. I wish I could tell my younger self to start being more confident in who I am as a running back to be able, to do that. Obviously, I mean, I got it together, and like if I didn't, then I wouldn't, be in this position and be at this point, right now. So just understanding that and having that mindset would have, you know, erased every question mark possible, like when it came to me. But once again, I thank God for, for that challenge, having that now and saying like my pass blocking is something that can, get me to the next level on top of what I already, bring to the table. So having that and really understanding that teams now value running backs who can be effective in the game, but can still be effective when the ball's not in your hands, right? Which is pass blocking and knowing your assignments and being a guru, but knowing how to pick up certain defenses and all that good stuff.
I mean, that's a good way to put it that way. I guess I'll have to answer your question here, your dad's question. So, with your journey to the NFL, why is it consistent so important? What separates you from other running backs in the draft? What separates you from the rest of it?
Well, consistency is very important because if you're not consistent, then you're just a one-hit wonder, and then it's easier for you to fall by the wayside. But I think the one thing that separates me, from the other running backs in the draft is what I bring to the table as a running back, and not just being a hard-nosed, downhill, hard-hitting, running back. I can really flex out there and be effective as a receiver, make moves and cuts and jukes like a receiver, running routes against, different coverages, learn how to, manipulate my body, the timing of the catch, tracking the ball, doing all that stuff, just my versatility as a running back as a whole, and then being able to almost play in any offense, what I'm saying, and be effective, at a high level and have high production. I think, and my consistency on top of that, is, the one thing I think that separates me, from other running backs.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it because your skill set and stuff can separate. And plus, playing at a small college, they might overlook you that way. But it doesn't change the fact you're talented. So you got more to prove. That's the big difference.
Yes, sir. Always.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. We're gonna throw in some good questions and see what you're all about, man. So, just for your cheat meal, let's say you go to McDonald's or Burger King, which one would you choose?
McDonald's.
Okay. Why would that be?
Because the McDonald's shakes are so good and their fries are good.
Okay, you can't go wrong with those. But I usually like the nuggets. But okay. Another cheat diet, like let's say for soda, Coke or Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Okay, can't go wrong with that. I guess for a fried chicken for a cheat meal, we can choose between KFC or Popeyes.
Popeyes, 1,000%. KFC is. If you go to KFC, I frown.
Can't go wrong with that. I guess if you had a favorite dinosaur, which one would it be?
Is Godzilla a dinosaur? Yeah, she is. I'll say Godzilla. If that's a real thing. But I don't know much about dinosaurs.
I'm not sure what Godzilla is.
Yeah, I don't know much about dinosaurs to really give you a real answer. So I'm not sure if I can, answer that question.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can have a meal with a celebrity, dead or alive, who can it be?
Michael Jackson, without hesitation. Michael Jackson.
Yeah, you could choose anyone.
Yeah, I love Michael Jackson, bro.
Michael Jackson, okay. That might be good one right there.
See,
you might want to ask him about those dance moves, huh? Like, how do you do those?
Hey, if anybody knows me, and if anybody knows me, that they know I have one of the best Michael Jackson, and my moonwalk is killer.
Okay. NY pizza or Chicago pizza?
Chicago pizza. I mean, I've never been to New York or had, New York style pizza, but Chicago pizza 1,000%.
But would you take Detroit's dish?
Huh?
Would you take Detroit's deep dish or nah?
Oh, 1,000%. Come on, bro.
I'll give you a pass for that if I add that alternate, man. For Chicago, you can't go wrong with also. So
yeah, I mean, Chicago style pizza is good, but there's nothing like Detroit deep dish, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Since you're from the state of Michigan, which is the best pizza chain if you had to choose between Little Caesars or Hungry Howie's?
Oh, Little Caesars. Little Caesars. Hey, hot and ready with parm butter, crazy bread with Italian cheese bread, with orange pop. You feel me? It can never go wrong with that. Pepsi, you can never go wrong with that.
Oh, definitely. I can see where you're coming from. Okay, let's do some of the common sense stuff when it comes to football related. Like let's say you deal with a quitter. How do you deal with somebody who's just not sold on the team anymore, and just in the middle of the game, you guys have a chance to win, and this guy just walks out on you guys?
Just rally the team up and just remind them of what the focus is, because stuff like that are just minor distractions and that are made to, take the focus, like off the team and the task at hand, which is winning the game. So just bringing the team up, together and just reminding everybody what the focus is and, how we just need each other in this moment.
For sure. Let's say one of your teammates is not on the same page with the teammates in the sidelines and they're having a little altercation. Let's say it's your wide receiver and the quarterback. They're just not seeing eye to eye. So how do you deal with it as a leader?
Well, as a leader, and especially, being a captain, like you find yourself being, just being like the mediator. So just understanding, the two personalities and how they communicate and how they want to be, communicated, to like in the heat of the moment, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to really hear somebody, especially, like when you think you're right and everything in football, it's super fast. So just kind of, calm them down, calm the moment down, and then help them learn how to, like effectively communicate.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. Get them on the same page, or maybe separate them a little bit so things can cool off.
Right.
Okay, let's say you're down by multiple touchdowns going into halftime. What would be the best way to get the team to come from behind with a pep talk, man? What would you get these guys fired up for?
Well, the uncensored version is, strap your nuts on, man. These are the moments why we play football for, for these reasons, to be able to come back and rally together and win the game, and just remind the team of, who they are and who we are, right? Understanding that we aren't in this position, for no reason. So we make the adjustments necessary to come out and play like we know how to play.
Yeah, for sure. It's either you want it or not. There's 2 quarters left, man. We gotta want this.
Right.
This is kind of something kind of funny if we think about it, because a few of my guests have done their little team songs. So can you do us like a good old song cheer for Panther Pride? For the Davenports? Is that? I mean, it's like it's got to be like I never heard of this song, so I guess you guys have your own thing, right?
No, not really. I mean, I honestly, I'm not paying attention.
I think that's the song he's referred to, because dude, this guy, like Grandizer, is such a Google freak when it comes to like looking at all the songs. He'll know exactly right off the bat. Like he's like the Google definition in his own mind.
Yeah, well, I know, I know Davenport, don't have a fight song, but if he wants me to sing that, then I could figure that out.
Yeah, but it's all good. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's just something kind of like we make it pretty interesting for. I mean, I guess a few of those prospects did it for their own song, so it's kind of interesting how we learned about it.
Yeah, Davenport is still kind of fairly new, to the football scene. Like they've only been in a program for like 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, it's like I'm barely getting to know that program actually, because like I guess weeks ago or at least a month ago, I got one of your teammates in, and I didn't know much about that program.
All right.
So if somebody were to play a movie about you in real life, who would you want to cast, and what would the soundtrack be?
Ooh. I would want Michael B. Jordan to be me. And the soundtrack, I don't really know. I would have like a Creed soundtrack or like a Rocky soundtrack, So yeah.
Oh yeah. So who would you give your life game ball to, who kind of made you who you are today?
Honestly, who would I give my life game ball to? I would say my great grandfather. I mean, he's seen all types of generations. I ain't trying to call you old, Papa, but you've seen a lot of people come before you and players come before you. So for that to be something that he can remember and I can remember, for the rest of my life, is I would do that, because he's been there every step of the way, has not missed a game, have seen me play from flag football all the way up until now, and then to play like in the NFL too. So yeah, so I would give it to my Papa, David Taylor.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. So now that you feel like the dream is coming true, does it feel as usual or business as, or I mean, does it feel surreal or business as usual?
More so, I mean, a little bit of both, but more so business as usual. I mean, I'm just a person that I'm a firm believer in my preparation, and I trust not only the God that I serve, but I trust my my preparation too. So I believe that I wouldn't be in this moment and in this position if it wasn't meant for me to excel and to do my thing. So it's kind of a surreal moment. Like it's just surreal, because just like I was telling my mom the other day, like like you play high school football looking forward to college, and then you play college looking forward to the NFL, and then once you get to the NFL, it's just you were just playing for your legacy and how great you want to be at that point. So I would say like it's a surreal moment, just because I'm getting to play at that level, but business as usual, because it's all the same thing. Like I go here, play football, and I'm gonna do my thing, like and adjust to the culture of the program and the offense. So
yeah, sounds kind of about right. I mean, you just got to make it sound like more of of like business as usual, but it's a dream come true either way. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure growing up in Michigan, you had to be a Lions fan, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't have to be but I chose to be. I was a Lions fan, even when they weren't so good, back in the day, you know.
But
But
it would be a
yeah,
dream come true to play for them, if I'm being
no,
honest.
1000%. I mean, to be a hometown hero, to come back to the city and play in the city and all that good stuff, that would be fun.
But I'm pretty sure whatever those other teams, it don't matter to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play for anybody. I'll play for anybody. As long as I get that.
Even if it has to be the Packers or the Bears.
Hey, as long as they give me that opportunity with that jersey and that helmet, I'm there.
Okay, that's definitely understandable. That's why they should take a chance on you, man. You got more to prove.
Yes, sir. Always.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, dude, definitely appreciate your time, bro. I know that the process is getting pretty good, So going into the NFL, I got one last question. So going into the NFL, what do you need to improve on the most going into?
I would say my pass blocking and just my route running. I mean, my route running is good, but I feel like it's just one of those things that just minor tweaks, like pass blocking and my route running can take me to another level and to be a generational player. I'm just not trying to make to the to the NFL and just play. I'm trying to be, like a player that will be remembered, in any way, but all good ways, of course. So just my route running and my pass blocking.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Pass blocking is going to be important, especially if you were to go into the Niners. You got to be a good pass blocker to get on the field. So, yeah, hopefully things pay off, man. I know that all the hard work you put in college all over those years, it's going to start to pay off, man. So I'm definitely rooting for you to succeed, man, whatever team you go with. Even if you come to the Niners, maybe we make a second appearance. But, yeah, dude, so just the best advice I can say, man, take every opportunity you can take, man, because you can't take everything for granted.
Right. And I believe that too.
Yeah. And for those people, tell them where they can find your social media platform.
Well, I mean, you could just type, my name in right there, and then you find me on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It's all just my name. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And for everybody else, this is Davenport University running back Myren Harris, man. This guy can do it all. He's a versatile guy. Do not sleep on this guy because they call him the Lightning Man. He's going to make you pay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And for everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in, and we're good.